Welcome to Cashflow. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up your VAT settings. Firstly, on the left hand side of the screen, go through to the Settings module. Once in the Settings module, if you scroll down to Configuration Settings, you will see an option here for VAT settings. Once you've clicked into here, you will have the option at the top of the screen to tick the box whether or not you are VAT registered. If you're not VAT registered, just untick the button, scroll down to the bottom and press save. If you're VAT registered, then leave the button ticked. We can see our tax name is VAT. Elsewhere outside the UK it is called other things, but we'll leave it as VAT. Enter your VAT registration number and choose whether or not you're reporting quarterly or monthly. If you tick the box for quarterly, you will then be able to select the month that corresponds with your VAT period. We can also choose if we want on our overview screen to see how much VAT we owe on the current period we're in. Also, we can set per nominal basis, which should be treated as EC sales if you are operating outside of the UK. We can also choose whether or not we want to automatically lock transactions, which means once I submit my VAT return electronically, I will have the ability to lock the transactions down, which means I can't edit or delete those transactions. We can also choose if we're calculating tax on a line total or on an individual unit price. When we scroll down, we can see our VAT rates. These rates are available from the drop-down list when we're creating our transactions within Cashflow. If there are codes that you do not require, if you highlight a code and just click the bin button there, you'll have the option to delete that rate, and you can just go through that and tidy up that list within the software. We've got our default VAT rate, which is set at 20%. If you're on cash accounting, just make sure that both of these boxes are ticked, and that will calculate your VAT on a cash accounting basis. If you're on the flat rate scheme, just make sure you tick this button, and that will activate the flat rate scheme for VAT. You can then put in your flat rate percentage, and then at the bottom you can put in your prior year percentage. So if you're getting a first year discount, you can put that discount in here, and then you can put the prior date, and that means once it gets to that date, it's going to change to the correct value for that year. You can also create a VAT code, retained VAT code, which will basically record any gain that you're making from being on the flat rate scheme. If you are MOS compliant, then you can just click here to say that you're registered for MOS, and then you can key in all the relevant details in there. And then to enter your VAT registration details, just click on the Enable Online Filing button at the bottom of the screen, and then put in your username and password plus your postcode and VAT number. This would have been supplied to you by HMRC, and once you've keyed in those, just click the Save Settings option at the bottom of the screen. That's how easy it is to set up your VAT settings within Cashflow.